Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to look at how to build your own radio broadcasting application. Okay, so in this video, I'm already assuming that you have an online radio station and you want to put together a website to manage your radio. Okay, so you can broadcast to a much larger audience on your own platform. Okay, so your users are just going to tune in and be able to listen to music. As you can see, this is the user interface that we will have, and I'm currently hosting it on my domain, which is learnwithdave.xyz. Okay, so in your case, you'll be purchasing a domain name which is related to radio station, and then I'll be showing you how to purchase domain and hosting for this particular application. Okay, so for this particular section, we are just going to take a quick look at the user interface. This is kind of the hero area, and then we just have the image of the lady enjoying some very cool music. Okay, so yes, this is how the user interface is going to look like. Okay, so we have live programs on air. So if you have an online radio station, you will have live events. Okay, so this is just a banner with a live event that is currently ongoing. Okay, so I'm just going to play that and you see very quickly how this works. Okay, so just stay tuned. Okay, so that's just some generic sound that we are hearing. I don't really understand it, but at the end of the tutorial, you're going to learn how to add your own streaming URLs to the site and stream your own music or your own radio shows. Okay, so as you can see, they have events. You will be able to schedule these events. So they have events on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all the way through the week. Okay, and look at this one here. You can also just click on it to just play the live event right here. Okay, so while scrolling, I'm just going to play that again. So yeah, so as you can see, that's very interesting. And then we'll put in more data here. So they as of this site, I've currently not added any data on the schedule for the week. Okay, so that's why it's data not found. And then we have events. Okay, so we'll also add our own events. We'll add our own awesome RJs. Okay, so the RJs will be the radio jockeys that you have at your radio station. Okay, or DJs, which are disc jockeys. Okay, so like yeah, so these are going to be the people who will be handling the event. So we're going to add these individuals as well. I'll use some stock images to do this, but in your case, you'll be putting the real humans who are involved in these activities. Okay, so yes, the no event found, but we'll put in, and I'll show you how to customize the entire site to your advantage. Okay, so this is your footer section. We'll look at how to add your own copyright section, privacy policies, and your terms of service. Okay, you can also add your social media handles from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Okay, yes, so this you can have archived events. We are just going to go through the full UI. Okay, and then you can have your own archived event. Okay, look at all your RJs. Okay, so if someone wants to look at the people doing the presentation on your site, the person can just click on this way and they will have access to all of them. Okay, so you can choose to add certain pages to the window based on your own preferences. Okay, so we can add or remove parts of this page. Okay, so if we don't want to have this live events on this page, we can easily take it out. And if we don't want to have all our event schedulers on the home page, we can take that out. Okay, so you also have the privilege to add other languages to the whole site. Okay, so non-English speakers will have access to your website in another language. Okay, so depending on where they come from. Another very important section is your contact info. Okay, so you can display your phone, your email. So the email address will be let's say support at your domain name.com, and you set up an email forwarder to forward that to your main Gmail account. Okay, so if you want to learn how to prepare an email forwarder or set up email forwarding in your cPanel account, I have a video. I'll leave a link in the description of this video that you can easily check out. Okay, so this is your address, and then they'll just have to enter their name, enter their emails, the subject of their mail, and then what happens, the message they are trying to send across to your team. And then once that is done, you can just, they'll click on send message. The message will be sent to your emails IDs created on your cPanel account, and that will get forwarded to your main Gmail account. Okay, because for um email IDs created on cPanel, you have to log into webmail to see the content. Okay, so if you click on your logo, you return to your home page. Okay, yes, so you'll be redirected back to your home page. All right, so that is it for the home page. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to purchase our hosting and domain and put our website live, just like I have it here. All right, and then we can go ahead and customize it from our admin panel. Okay, so once you have your script, the next thing we want to do is to look at purchasing hosting for our application. Okay, so the hosting provider I'm using in this particular video is called Makigo Host. They have high-speed web hosting and domain name services. This is Makigo Host, and that's their homepage, so you can read through Makigo Host homepage to see most of the services they provide. Okay, and once you've gone through that, I want to show you how we can purchase our hosting and domain. Okay, so on their navigation, you head to hosting services, and then from there you can go straight to shared hosting with cPanel. Okay, so as you can see, they also provide a reseller hosting plan with cPanel. They have a shared hosting with CyberPanel that is coming soon as well. So let's just go ahead and go to the shared hosting with cPanel. Once that is done, you can see you have unlimited database FTP accounts and a 99% uptime guarantee. Okay, so if you are purchasing hosting and domain, you want to get it from a service provider that is up most of the time. You don't want your website to be down most of the time and users cannot access it. Okay, so that's why I suggest you go to through Makigo Host. I'll leave a link in the description that you can go ahead and purchase your hosting. Now, the next thing we want to do is to scroll to the bottom where they have all of their services. So I have our hosting services, hosting features and services. You can scroll more down, and then we have their hosting plan. Okay, so as you can see, they have a $2.99 per month Go Basic plan. That's exactly what we are going to use, but your choice of the plan will depend on the requirements of your application. Okay, so as you can see, there are different services that they provide based off of the plan that you choose. Okay, so as if you check the storage, they have 20 gigabyte SSD storage for those who go with the 2.99 per month, and that of 50 gigabyte storage for those of them that go for the 4.99 per month. Okay, so for this particular video, I'm just going to go ahead and order the Go Basic plan. So click on order now, and once you select the order now, you'll be sent to a billing page. Okay, so basically you can see the particular services that you are choosing. Make sure you select a billing cycle to 1 year. Okay, so you get to save a few dollars from that. Okay, so once you select the 1 year plan, you save the 8.33% of the amount you would have paid. Okay, now if you want Makigo Host to do all of the Google Analytics integration for you, you can select that they offer at $15. And if you want them to index your site on Google too as well, they charge $15 for that. Okay, now I have a coupon code for Makigo Host. It's that you can add for a discount. So let's just go to this page. On your order summary, you have change your discount code. Okay, so click on that and put in your discount code. Okay, so I have div25 and submit. All right, so with that you get a 25% discount, and that saves you a few dollars. Okay, Now your total checkout fee is at 54.67 US dollars. Okay. Now, depending on your budget, you want to either enable or disable these services. Okay. Because as you realize, the 54.67 US dollars is only for our hosting for 1 year, in addition to the Google Analytics and that of indexing your site on Google. Okay, so if you can do all of this, you don't need to add them. But if you want them to help you do all of that too as well, you can just add them and then check out. Okay, so once we have added our discount code and applied, go ahead and click on continue. Okay, so now we are redirected to a page where we are supposed to enter our domain. Okay, so this will, if you already own a domain from another provider, you can transfer that to Makigo host, or if you are working with a different provider, that's completely fine. That means you already have a cPanel account and you can just skip the video until we are putting the script file online. Okay, but other than that, if you're ordering a domain for a particular project, you want to enter the domain name in this particular section to search. Okay, to search whether this domain is available or it's not available. So let's just search learn. I'm just going to add learntoday.com. Okay, so we have learntoday.com and let's search whether it's available. Learntoday.com is not available. Let's just add David. Okay, so learndavidtoday.com and then let's search. Okay, so these are just random names. Okay, so you will be entering your particular domain that you prefer based on the project that you are building. Okay, so you wouldn't just enter any random project at all, but you'll be entering a name that relates to your particular project. Okay, yes, so now we have learndavidtoday.com is available, and then we can then go ahead and add to cart. Okay, so once that is available, click on add to cart. And now they also do have other product add-ons again here on this page. Okay, so they offer domain name system management and ID protection. Okay, so if you want to protect your identity on the internet, you can pay that $5 every 1 year. Okay, so just $5 per year, or you can add the domain name system management. Again, this is based on your budget. If you don't have the budget for that, you can just go ahead and continue. So we're just going to go ahead and click on continue. And now we are at our other summary page. Okay, so now this is our plan. We have learndavidtoday.com and that of the add-ons that we added at 15 US dollars. Okay, so we basically would have been paying 77.89 US dollars, but now we have a discount of 8.22, making our payment at $69.67 from the coupon code that we used. Okay, so once you've gotten to this stage, we just want to enter in our details and then proceed. Okay, so enter your organization. I'm just going to put the movie, and then I'm going to put in my first name, which is David. Last name, that's my last name. I'll put in my email, which is ddarwin@gmail.com. I'll add my phone number. All right, and then my address. Put in your right address in this particular section of the video. So I'm just going to put in the city, our zip code. Let's put in 0233. Let's put in Upper East. Country is Ghana. Receive email announcement. I'm going to select no, and let's put in a password. Okay, so this will be your password to log into your account. Okay, so make sure you are entering a secure password. Okay, so now let's enter our password. Let's change this email account. Okay, so make sure you're entering the right email. because they will send some communication to this email, so you need to have access to it to be able to log into your cPanel account. Okay, so once that is done, check that you are not a robot by going through this Google this reCAPTCHA. So select bicycle and then verify. Let's agree to the terms and then place order and create account. Okay, all right, so once that is done, you have an order completion page, okay, and an email that has been sent to your account. Okay, so for that, it's just a basic process that you follow. So all you have to do is to go and log into your account or your email account and then go through the billing process. All right, so if you have completed payment and created your account, okay, so this will be the user interface that you will log in at Makigo Host. You should, however, note that this user interface is going to be very different from other hosting providers. Okay, so as you can see, I have a Go Basic plan, which is learn with Dave.xyz that I ordered at 32.89 US dollars yearly. Okay, so now if you've completed your payment through the email account, that is fine. You just wait for a few hours for your cPanel account to be account details to be provided to you, that you can easily log in straight to your account, or wait for your domain name, which usually takes a while, about 20 hours to 24 hours for them to make your domain name available to you for use. Okay, but your cPanel account should not take that long to be provided for you, so that you can go and log in to it. Okay, so if you have finished all of your payment and then you've logged into your account, no problem. But if you are yet to make payment, you can head to their billing and then check your invoices. Okay, you basically see all of your open invoices, paid, draft, and all of it. Okay, so if you click on the paid, you will see all of the invoices that you have paid. Okay, so as you can see, I ordered this a while ago, so my invoice has been marked paid. Okay, however, if you have not paid and you clicked on your domain, you'll be redirected to this page. Okay, so if you scroll to the bottom, you will see that you have the options to make payment. Okay, so you can make payment at makigohost.com/bitcoin or makigohost.com/flutterwaves. Okay, and once payment is made, you will be notified that you have completed payment and your invoice will be marked as paid. Okay, yes, so if you return to your dashboard, you can check all your packages. Okay, so this is your packages, and then once you are here at your package, that's kind of the domain that you ordered, you can just click on that. And if it is Makigo host, you can log directly into your cPanel account. Okay, so you can just click on log into cPanel account, and there you have it. You have your cPanel account open. Okay, so in your case, there will be a wizard because it's a new cPanel account, but I have used this cPanel account for other tutorials, so that's why you are not seeing it. Okay, so yes, this is your cPanel account and this is your hosting provider's dashboard. Okay, and once you have your cPanel account created, we are going to go ahead and then start with the installation of our script. All right, so once you are done purchasing your domain and hosting and your cPanel account has been assigned to you, the next thing we want to do is to start by creating our database. Okay, so as with most application, you will required to have a database and that of the database user. Okay, so then during the process, you can add your database user and database with the password on your environment variable, so that your application will be able to access that database and store the information as well as display them whenever it is requested. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead at this point and create our database. So in your search tool, just type in database, navigate to manage my database and click on that, and then you are rerouted to this page where you have to manage your database. Okay, so we have create a new database. Okay, so now this place you just add in your database, so I'm just going to call it DB name, something generic. But for you, you put in a database name that is kind of related to the project you are working on, okay? Because you can have multiple databases on this account. So just click on create database, and then you have a success message, and then you can just go ahead and click on go back. Right, so with our database created, the next thing we want to do is to create our database user, okay? So navigate to the button, okay, where you have add new user, okay? So as you can see, right after creating our database, you have add new user, okay? So now what we are going to do is to create a user for this particular database, okay? So for mine, I'm just going to call it DB user. You can call it whatever you want. In this case, maybe associated with the kind of application that you are writing, okay? Now the next thing we are going to do is to generate a secure password for this particular user, okay? So if you have a secured password already, you can copy that and paste in this password area, okay? However, they have a password generator that will generate a secure password for your database user, okay? So that's what I'm going to use, and I do suggest that you also use the password generator. So I'm just going to click on generate password, and then you can click generate password until you have a password that you prefer, okay? So I'm okay with this, and I'm just going to copy this password. So copy it and make sure that this checkbox is checked, okay? So I have copied this password in a safe place. So one thing you need to note is that during the development of your application, you will add this database password, database user, and the database name to your environment variables, such that your application will be able to access your database and then request data when it is needed, okay? So once that is done, just click on use password. So for me, I'm just going to open a Word document and paste this user's data, okay? That is the password. So I'm just going to put in here password, and then I'm just going to paste my password, okay? Once that is done, I'm just going to return and click on create user. So once that is done, we are going to go to the last part of creating our database, which is to associate this database with the user, okay? So we're going to add the database to the user. So if you scroll down, you have add user to database or database to user, okay? So this is actually the right thing, which is add user to to database, okay? So now we are going to add our DB user to our database, okay? So as you can see, mine has been pre-filled. In your case, it may be different depending on how many databases you have created on your cPanel account. And then if that's the case, you just click on the drop down and select the right database user and database, okay? And once that is done, just click on add. And now we are rerouted to this page where we are going to allow certain privileges to this particular database user, okay? So these are going to be CRUD operations, okay? So the user is going to be able to create, delete, and change information right here, okay? So what you're going to do is, I'll suggest you just allow all privileges. But if you don't want to allow all privileges to this particular database user, you can just go through the list and check those that you want to allow privileges for this particular user, okay? So once that is done, just click on make changes, right? But then the last thing we want to do is to copy this database user and database name, okay? So just copy this information. As I said earlier, you will need this information during an installation or when you want to run your application, okay? Because your application will have to have access to this information to be able to fetch data from your database, okay? So once this is done, just return to where you kept your database files, and right here I'm just going to paste this information right here, okay? And then save, okay? So with this, during your application development, you can just add this database user as well as the password to your application and have access to it whenever you need to, okay? And then once that is done, that is it for creating the database, and let's just move to the next stage of the video. Okay, so once we are done creating our database, the next thing we are going to do is to put our files onto our server, okay? So at this point, assuming you have already purchased the script file, which is CastLab, because we are working on a radio broadcasting application. So once the zip file or once the script file has been purchased and downloaded onto your your PC, the next thing we are doing is to upload. Okay, so for this section you are just going to navigate to your file manager or use the search tool and just type in file manager. Okay, so if you navigate in your cPanel account to files, you have file manager and you can just click on that. Okay, because we are now navigating to the root directory where your script files will live. Okay, now let's take a look at the script files when it's downloaded. Okay, so I have mine on my desktop. As you can see, it's CastLab 3.0 zip. Okay, so this should be the kind of file you get after the purchase. So what you do is to first unzip this file. Okay, so if you unzip it, you are just going to go ahead and open it. Okay, so let's just take a look at the folders you'll find in that file before we go ahead with the upload. Okay, so with this you get the documentations file. Okay, this is a folder, and then we have the index.html, which is what you open as a guide to your installation. Okay, but for me, I'm just going to take you through all of this process, so we may not need to have this open at all. So this is your documentation in case you want to read through or contact the developer. They'll have their information right here. Okay, and then we have our files. Okay, so this is the main file that will be uploaded onto our cPanel account, and they will have updates. Okay, so this is the version of CastLab that has been done. So they had 2.0, 2.1, and now we are currently running 3.0. Okay, so you can open those files and just check them out. All right, yes. So to upload your files, what you need to do is to first zip this files folder, because that's what we are going to upload. Okay, so I'm going to compress it. For in your case, it may be add to archive or zip. Okay, so I'm just going to click on compress. All right, so our file is compressed, and let me just move it this way. Let me just move it this way. And now the next thing we want to do is to head back to our cPanel account and go ahead with uploading this file. Okay, so now I'm back to our cPanel account. We want to navigate to our public_html. Okay, so this is the root directory for our files. Okay, so anybody who visits your URL, that is your domain, which is right here, in my case learnwithdave.xyz, the person will be redirected, and then your URL will try to read the files that are contained in your public_html file. Okay, so let's just open that. Once your public_html is open, go ahead and click on upload. Then once you are rerouted to this page, click on select files. Okay, so now you have to navigate to your script file. Okay, so wherever your downloads are located, just go to that part, click on the file, make sure that this zip file is zipped for easy upload. So just select that and click on open. Okay, so now all you have to do is to wait for a few minutes for the upload process to complete. All right, so once you see the 100% upload with this green bar, it means that that was a success, and we just click on go back. And then once you return to your cPanel, you see that you have only the files.zip folder. Okay, let's look at visiting our URL. So you can just click on that, and our URL currently contains just that file.zip. Okay, so let's return back to our cPanel account. I'm not working with this, so I can just close it. Okay, and so once we are back here, please click on extract. Okay, so to extract this, you can just select it and click this extract icon on the upper right corner, or you can just right click and click on what extract. Click on extract files and wait for the files to extract. Right, so now your file extraction process is complete. I'm just going to go ahead and close that. Okay, so as you can see, now we have two files, which we have is files.zip and that of the files folder. Okay, so we'll get rid of this files.zip because we don't need it any longer. So you can just select it and click on delete and then confirm delete. Okay, so now here on our files folder, we want to open this, and now this contains all the folders and files that we'll need for our um, root directory. Okay, so I'm just going to go back up one level. So as you can see, all our files are currently located in our files folder. Okay, if you visit the URL and refresh, and now it just shows files. Okay, so it's not reading those files inside of the files folder, it's just reading this as a whole. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to move the files that are within this back into our public underscore HTML directory. Okay, so how you would do this is to just go ahead and select all of them and then click on move. Okay, so as you can see, it is in the files directory, so we are just going to move that back to the public underscore HTML. So you can just take off that files, that directory, and click on move files. Okay, so as you can see, we have moved our files up one level into our public underscore HTML file. Okay, and so now we have our files, and one of the very important tools that we need here is our installer. Okay, so this is going to install all of the files that we need for the website. Okay, so now this our files folder is empty, and that means we can just get rid of it. Okay, so just select it and delete. Just going to delete this permanently, so just confirm and it is gone. Okay, now the next thing is to check if our file upload was a success and our domain can actually read the files. Okay, so just return to your URL and refresh. Yes, and so if you see this window, okay, it means that everything was a success, and then you can see um your installation process start. Okay, so yes, so once this window loads up, the next thing we are doing here is to just continue with the installation of our script. Okay, so what we are doing is to just click on agree and next step. Okay, so just scroll to the bottom. Okay, so we have some terms of services or of terms of use, so you can read all of that and just click on agree and next step. Okay, yeah, so it checks all of the requirements that you need to run this script file. Okay, so it usually has a PHP version that is required, or it has a MariaDB or MySQL database version that is required. Okay, so in our case, all of those checks have passed, and we can just click on next. Okay, yeah, so this is especially a very important aspect of the installation process. Okay, so you realize during the creation of our database, I asked that we keep our database name, our database user, and our database password in a very secured place. Okay, so this is where we really do need those information to complete our installation process. Okay, so as you can see, they automatically takes our website URL and just fills that in for us, and then what we are doing is to put in our database name, database user, and our database password. And just beneath that, we have our admin credentials. Okay, so this is information that you'll be using to log into your admin area so that you can be able to customize the website, control what happens in and out of your website just from as the administrator of your website from the admin area. Okay, so for now, I did save all of that information in a Word document, so I'm just going to go back there and then copy those information and fill in as well. Okay, so for me, this was my database user. Okay, so go ahead and copy your database user as you created. So copy that, and then here I'm going to paste my database user. Okay, I'm going to return to the file and copy my database name. Okay, so I'm going to paste that. That's my database. and then we need our password. So this is the password we generated. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste this password right here. And now for our database host, just put in localhost. For our database username, make sure you're entering a username that is familiar and only known to you, because you are going to be the administrator and you are going to be the only one logging into this admin area to control the usage of your site. Okay, so make sure you are also using a secure password. Okay, so I'm just going to put in password. That's because I'm doing this for tutorial purposes, and I'll change this later on. And then you can put in your email address. Okay, so I'm just going to put in admin@learnwithdave.xyz. Okay, so you can create these email IDs from your cPanel account, which could be support@learnwithdave.xyz or admin@learnwithdave.xyz, and then you can set up email forwarded. Okay, so if you want to learn how to set up an email forwarder, I have a video. I'll leave it in a link to that video in the description so that you can check it out. And then once all of your credentials are correct, let's just go ahead and click on install. Okay, all right, so as you can see, we have your system has been successfully installed. And then if you scroll to the bottom, you can just go to your website. Okay, so you can go to your site and activate. Okay, so I'm just going to click that. All right, so as you can see, our site is loading. It's called CastLab, and there we have it. Our site is live, and it is live on our domain. Okay, so this is how you put together the installation of a script file on your site. And then as you can see, we are on the home page. I'm just going to allow this. We are on the home page of our application, and we currently do not have any data on the site, but we will do that throughout the customization process, and then you can have live events on your site. Okay, so with that said, let's just get into the admin panel and look at how to customize this site and continue to use it for our own radio broadcasting. All right, so welcome to the main dashboard that we are going to use to customize the UI. Okay, so as you can see, I have logged into my dashboard, which is the learnwithdave.xyz admin dashboard. Okay, so let's see, I'm just going to visit my URL. Okay, I'm going to be using this as the reference point to customize the site. Okay, so we'll be checking this part of this the site and using that to make our reference to customize the site. Okay, so yes, so this is our admin area. As you can see, there is not a lot of things going on here. We currently have only just one RG that are set up after logging in. And if I want to put in every information here that we need for the homepage of this application, is going to take us much longer. Okay, so for that reason, I'm going to use the demo dashboard that comes with the script to kind of explain how to customize this site for yourself. Okay, so for that said, let's get into the admin the demo dashboard and use that to go through the site. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, the demo dashboard has a lot of information on it. So let's look at the manage polls. Okay, so for this section, you are going to be able to add polls. Okay, so your people can vote and add polls to your site. Okay, so if we go back, let's just use this to your home page. You can add polls and have your 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 users vote. So as you can see, I set up one post on my learnwithdave.xyz, so that's why you have here, so users can vote, and then the percentages will go up accordingly as people vote. Okay, yes, so that is it for the polls. And then you can manage RGs. Okay, so this is the section that you are going to use to add your radio presenters or your disc jokers or radio jokers onto your site. Okay, so if you click on new, you'll be required to you'll be required to put in an image for the radio joker. There's a whole lot of information you have to fill. That's why I said if I wanted to fill in every detail, the video is going to take much longer than it should. Okay, so you'll be asked to add the person's name, designation, email, contact, and about. Okay, you will be asked to add the academic information of the individual, or his or her work experience, and if there are additional images that you need to add, you can add that and just save. Okay, so if you want to go through this for the tutorial and put in every single information, it's going to take a little longer. Okay, so you can also manage events. Okay, so these are the events that you'll be adding to your site. Okay, so if you go back to the home page, you can see we have all of our event schedule. Okay, so that's the section you'll be using to update that. Okay, so if you click on new, you'll be asked to enter the image of the RJ. Okay, so whoever is going to handle this particular event, you select the RJ. Okay, so the name of the individual you select in this case, and then here the name is what you want to name this particular event. Okay, so that's the name. Okay, so this is the event name, and then you can select the weekday. Okay, so you now select which day of the week this event is taking place. You put in a time of start and the ending time for this particular event, and then you can submit. Okay, and that will automatically be added to this section. Okay, so this data will now be available. They will have those events when they start and when they end. Okay, that will be a card. Okay, so all your events will then show up here, all your scheduled events. Okay, so you enter them as in the manner in which you want them to appear. So as you can see, this event starts at 3 and ends at 4. Okay, and then this image will be what will be shown here. So per the number of events that you enter for a particular day, that's what gets shown if you navigate to that particular day. So as you can see, you can navigate between all the individual days of the week and then the events that will take place on those weeks. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. We can just get ignore the archive and let's get back to support. Okay, so if users have issues using your site, they are going to reach out to you through these tickets, and then you are going to know the status of those tickets as an administrator. Okay, so for handle tickets, their status will change from open to close, and those that are still being worked on will still be open. Okay, and then they will also have to select the priority level. So whoever is submitting the ticket will have to choose the priority level of that particular ticket. Okay, and then you can also route to all the tickets that have been created on your site. And let's look at the system settings. Okay, now this is particularly very important in terms of how your application is going to run. Okay, now don't worry, you are still wondering whether we'll be able to add radio events, because in there's no way, because that's why what the tutorial is all about. Okay, so we will be adding these radio events in the process. Okay, now if you go into our general settings, you'll be able to change your base color, then that of the secondary colors. Okay, so as you can see, you can change this color as well as this theme color right here in the general settings. Okay, let's return, and then let's go to our system configurations. Okay, you can force SSL. Okay, so your users will be forced to visit your site on a secured URL. Other than that, the site will not load. Okay, so you can just enable that or disable. Okay, so but I do suggest you make sure this is enabled, and then you can also enable email notification. So if they sign up, they will be they'll receive email notifications as well, and then the language option is enabled. Okay, yes. Now let's look at this SEO. Let's manage pages instead. Okay, but for SEO, let's look at how to manage SEO. Okay, so for SEO, you'll be adding meta tags. Okay, these are keywords that will help anyone visiting your website, okay, to know that it is a radio broadcasting application. Okay, so your keywords should be related to radio broadcasting. Okay, so if there's a Google search about any of those keywords, your website is likely to rank on top. Okay, it may not necessarily be ranked on top of the search results, but it will also rank in Google. Okay, so you have your meta description, your social title. If you shared your website link to any platform, this is kind of the title that will appear. So as you can see, Cast Lab live radio broadcasting platform. Okay, so you can just relabel this per your preference, and then have your social description. Okay, yes, so that is it, and this image will appear wherever you share it. Okay, so you have to update this to your own banner, because if you share this, it will be this image that will be shown to your users. Okay, let's get back to our settings. Okay, and let's look at how to manage our front end. Okay, this is how we'll manage our user interface, the look of our home page, and all the pages that we are going to be using. Okay, so for that, you have to manage your banner. Okay, so this is the banner. You can change this image. This is the image right here. As you can see, it will be you can update these two banner images as well. Let's get back, and then you can update your footer section. Okay, so we are going through this a bit by bit also. Okay, so if you scroll down to your footer, this is the section we are talking about. You can update the social links as well. Okay, manage front end, and let's look at their live radio shows. This is particularly very important because this is what the whole application is about. Okay, so if you look at manage live radio, okay, so you can see there's a background image, radio play image. Okay, and then there's the heading of your live event. So we have our live program. So if you go back to the home page and let's scroll down, you can see we have our live program on air. Okay, so this is exactly what you are seeing, our live program on air. So you edit that because it's very important, and then you have a subheading. Okay, let's get back to our home page. Okay, so there's a subheading here. This text right here is the subheading, and now you have your radio playing. So you can see listen to radio. Let's get back to it, and you should see listen to radio. Okay, so you have this listen to radio, and then you have the play. Okay, now one thing you need to note is you have to add your stream URL. Okay, so this is the URL that you are currently streaming on. Okay, so based on your setup, you copy a URL and paste. Okay, so look at this right here. So I've open this website. Okay, it's called streamer.link. Okay, so you can get a streaming URL. I'm just going to search a random frequency, some 99.7 FM, and then search. Okay, so as you can see, we have different radio stations, and then you can just copy their URL. Okay, now I'm not showing this so that you copy and use people's radio URL. I'm assuming you already have your own streaming URL that you can copy and add to your radio application. Okay, because you wouldn't want to be streaming someone else's radio station on your application. Okay, so share your streaming URL on this particular application and submit. Okay, so your users will be able to just have access to your live shows because you share your streaming URL. Okay, yes, so that's it. And then let's go ahead with the front end. You can manage you can change your breadcrumb. Let's look at that. Okay, so these are the banner images that we have there. There's a lot of them. As you can see, you can change all these images. All right, and this is the user I added. Okay, from my home page. Okay, Yes. Let's go back to our settings. Let's manage front end. And then we have different sections, so you have to go through them one after the other. You can add your contact us, partner section, social icons, event section. So this is your event section. Okay, so look at this. You have your event sections here, so all of our events. So you can change all of the images, the background images. So you have to do a lot of research to find your own image and then replace all of them. Okay, so now let's look at the very important part of the home page, okay, which is the logo and the favicon. Okay, so the logo is this one right here, okay, and the favicon, let's see, the favicon will be shown alongside this URL right here. Okay, so as you can see, there's a microphone here, so you can change that as well. That will be your favicon. Okay, so if you are building this for yourself, you need to update all of this information. You have your own logo design. You can use a free tool like Canva to design your own logo and then update. Okay, yes, and let's look at the extensions. Okay, so we want to set Google Analytics. Okay, so these are extensions that you can add to your site. As you can see, it's currently disabled, but if you configure, you'll be able to add your Google Analytics measurement ID to the site and submit. This way you can look at the user behaviors on your sites, what are the pages that your users are clicking on. Okay, so you are basically indexing and also using Google Analytics on your site. Now you can set up Google Recaptcha Talk to, which is or is it Talk to, which is a live chat feature that you can allow, so your users can live chat you on the application. Okay, so if you configure, they will ask for the app key. Okay, so if you sign up to Talk to and go through your profile, you will get the app key, okay, which is the same as the API key that you can paste here, and then that live chat feature will be updated on your site. Okay, so as you can see, it's currently disabled, but you can also enable it as well, and that will show up on your page. Okay, so let's look at manage pages. Okay, so you can manage how many pages are on your home page. So if you click on edit here, you can see that we have this live radio schedule section, event section, radio jockey. And if you go back to our home page, okay, these are exactly the events that are available on your home page. Okay, so if you feel like this is a whole lot of information, you can remove some of them. Okay, so you can get rid of the live radio, you can get rid of the schedule section. So this is how you update your home page, okay, to look much cleaner. So if you think there's a whole lot of information on your home page, you can get rid of that and then update the page as well. Okay, so yeah. All right, so that's it for building this radio live broadcasting application. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and if you have questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll be sure to reach out to you and help as quickly as possible, and do enjoy the day.